Did you just yell start streaming it and it worked?
No, that's not how it works. But I yelled start streaming, and it worked. And I think we're live. We're on.
I'm gonna slowly.
Carrie, we're on. If you're still here.
Hopefully.
Oh. That was
Everything
weird.
died.
That was weird. Oh, we got a new subscriber already.
Do.
Sweet.
Do. Hey.
Just want to monitor this for a second, make sure we're good, because my screen just blacked out for a second. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right. This shirt makes me look heavier than I am.
It says upcoming, so we gotta be patient. We're here. I hope you can see us.
Seriously, right?
Because my screen even my phone went black. Maybe it's because of what happened in the episode. We're seeing some residual effects. I'm just gonna make sure everything's kosher. Sorry for anybody that's watching this after the fact, because you're gonna have to deal with all this mumbo jumbo. Unless I want to be.
If you can hear us, then that's pretty awesome.
Are we on? I think we are on. I'm checking. Looks like we're on. Yeah, we're on. We're good.
Yeah,
we're live.
Sweet. All right. So this episode
was super it's called The Dreamer That Dreams, right?
Yes.
So, but I felt like we got a lot of the Fireman, aka the Giant.
We could officially question mark.
We could officially call him the Fireman now,
which is
his name was credited as the Fireman.
I mean, does that also mean that he's now? This is where I was stuck. Does that also mean he's Lod Lady's Lod? Because Lod Lady's Lod was the fireman who died in the fire that was creating of the lodge. So is he Lod Lady's former husband? Is that a thing?
Interesting.
I don't think it would be because he did die before. Not? That's why she became Lod Lady.
He might be just talking to her through the log instead of pulling her through a void.
I feel like he's much more omniscient than that would possibly be, but completely feasible. I'm sorry, I have weird. I mean, if you've met me, I have really weird ideas.
I mean,
Will Byers has.
He might be omniscient, but it's obvious that I don't think omniscient really means anything. I don't it's like anybody could be anything, and I think we saw that with James's friend, that with the green glove.
Yeah, the green.
He said, "Why me? Why not?
Why not?"
So why can't you just be this person in the Watchtower thing, and be imbued with this knowledge of the universe, and I guess the ability to give people superpowers.
Yeah, because apparently that's superpowers. Being able to punch a guy's entire face through, kind of a superpower.
I mean, he was destroying walnuts with, "Hey, it's Mr. Poopy Butthole." He was destroying walnuts with his
hand,
and he couldn't eat it.
He was using two fingers and he was trying to crack it correctly, and he was destroying them instantaneously with two fingers.
Okay, so the Fireman is he's putting pieces together. He's everything so far has been the Fireman setting something up.
He's Nick Fury, and this is the Avengers.
I want to know what his motive is. Is he a good guy? Is he trying to set something up for...
He did create Laura, so there's a part of me which wants to say he is a good guy, because we know that Laura is the antithesis of Bob. We're pretty sure about that. That Laura is the antithesis of Bob.
Laura is the one.
And if that's the case, then Bob was created by the figure, the shapey figure thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bob was created by the shaky figure thing, the shaky alien, and thus, in response, or also created by human cruelty. Let's be honest, to be both of them.
The tear in the fabric of reality was created by the atom bomb, which let all this the darkness of the universe, the unknown darkness, the outside darkness that surrounds the universe.
And the darkness of that creepy alien thing just came right out through, his face and, became
the celestial Garmonbosia, as some people have called it.
Yeah, with that thing. So with that being said, with that existence existing, that would make Laura being, the positive Garmonbosia of the Fireman. Actually, what that makes her is the fire.
No, I think we're putting out the fire.
Are we
I
sure?
think I think Laura is the water putting out the fire. I think Cooper is also the water. I think I forgot his name. James's friend is part of the water.
Feasibly. I mean, it is funny though that her color, specifically Laura's color, is bright like yellow when it's brought up, and Bob's color is clear-esque. Like it looks like water.
It's like a cloudy sort of.
It's like if you were to take like lake water and just pour it out.
It's dirty. Yeah. It's dirty. It's not pure.
Yeah, but pure is yellow?
I mean, it was like a glowing, it was like life. It was like a life yellow. It was a life essence kind of yellow. Because when the little boy dies in the intersection that Richard runs over...
That's why Harold wants the fire.
Little yellow
with the
orb comes...
With the fire.
Yellow...
I guess like it. No, I guess not.
Yellow energy comes out. Oh no, we have to take this very seriously.
I am taking this very seriously.
Come on, Harold.
But you have Mr. Foodball right there.
I know, he's here for Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty at 11:30. Stay tuned till 11 at 12.
I will not be here
for the Rick and Morty.
I'll be at home watching Game of Thrones and then watching Rick and Morty.
So I'm just super psyched about what the Fireman is doing. I'm very curious. But then let's loop that around. Let's jump to the end of the episode. What the hell is going on with Sarah Palmer?
Yeah.
She's straight up eating people. I'm pretty sure she ate the boy from the supermarket.
But she's eating people in the way that we had, and to bring this back to the beginning of the episode, the first Blue Rose case, where the woman that's brought up in the first Blue Rose case that Jefferies and Cole deal with doesn't know how and why. She doesn't remember killing herself. Literally, she doesn't remember killing another version of herself, the Blue Rose. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, she kind of like Sarah Palmer kind of had that moment of she didn't believe what she did even after she ripped off her own face and ate a guy's neck.
I mean, I think
she had that that appearance oh my god, that just happened!
I do think something is controlling her, because when she was in the supermarket, I think an episode or two ago, she went on that the men are here, they were here, they're coming. When did those turkey jerky come in?
Yeah.
And then she seemed to be able to calm herself down and just leave.
By the way, just to point out, if you're really enjoying this and you like things like what's happening in that part of that series, just to throw it to a different series entirely, that's YouTube based, just so they can get more views, is Tribe 12. They've been doing they were doing this about a year and a half ago with the faces and changing all the stuff that's happening with Sarah Palmer and all the stuff that's happening with the guys. All of that, it's very them. It's very much Noah and his stuff. Just gonna point that out.
It's all based off older things.
Oh yeah.
Old mythology and whatnot, and demons and other gods. It's all very deep cut mythology, and
I'm just plugging Tribe 12. End result
they don't need
is
any
that
more plugs.
Really don't. But the point is that that's not the point is that this is something that we're seeing with her that's, number one, yes, very in tune with mythology and how it's working, but I don't know if she's fully cognitive of all of that.
It's almost kind of like the whole thing with Leland. Leland I think knew Bob was taking over him.
I think he didn't want. Well, he said that he didn't want to believe it. There was a whole I thought it was a dream. I didn't want to believe that I was able to do those things. Mm-hmm. That was the entire scene.
So it's almost Leland was pushed to the back while Bob came forward and decided to. How is this all going to end?
It can't be in one season. I would say it can't be.
I don't think. I think it's just going to be another cliffhanger. They love Mark Frost and David Lynch love the mystery. They want the mystery. They want people to be talking about it forever and ever.
I think we're getting more Twin Peaks.
I think we might get more Twin Peaks. I don't know if it's going to be on Showtime, unless Showtime really pushes their marketing and tries to really sees this as a long-term investment.
Well, how is it going right now on Showtime? Is it getting good ratings?
The Showtime ratings are decent. It's not Game of Thrones ratings.
Wait, let's rephrase it. How is it for Showtime?
I mean, they say Ray Donovan and Shameless are obviously like...
Oh, of course.
They get millions.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks is getting like a couple 100,000.
But still better than...
But then that's also just... I believe it's just Nielsen ratings. So I'm not sure what they're getting in terms of streaming, which I'm assuming is so much more.
Yeah, and the reason why we're talking about this is because in the event that this is going well, Showtime won't bankroll another season unless something happens with word of mouth. That's the... Yes.
And there's
definitely.
already there's a little bit of bad blood between David Lynch and the Showtime people because of what David Lynch wanted to do. He originally wanted to do 18 hours. They told him you can only have 9 hours or 8 or 9 hours in the beginning, which was the whole thing where he was going to leave and they were going to do it without him. And then there was a whole campaign saying doing Twin Peaks without David Lynch is like blah, blah, blah.
You know what, though? But by giving him 18 episodes, or giving him 18 hours on this, Showtime might realize they've done the right thing. Especially if they're getting consistent numbers overall. And the whole bankroll another season, unless something happens at word of mouth after the finale, we need to get to the finale first. So if going at 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock, like they went with 9 o'clock, which was not going to give them the best Nielsen ratings in the first place. It wouldn't, because they're not going to beat... On a Sunday night, they're not beating Game of Thrones.
Which is why they moved it to 8 o'clock.
Which is brilliant. So now, and I was one of those people who was like, great, now I can watch Twin Peaks and then watch Game of Thrones. But my thing is, if that 8 o'clock change has been a positive one, if like they've come out at 8 o'clock and all of a sudden like the Nielsen ratings have gone up because now people want to watch the show more, if they're getting that word of mouth, like episode 8 of this year got a huge like response.
It did.
And that was the simplest episode, period.
That's
it.
It was David Lynch's sort of backyard project episode.
Yeah. And I completely agree with Carrie. I completely have faith in David Lynch.
Oh, absolutely. They know what they're
Mark
doing.
Frost.
They know. Mark Frost is I would go as far to call him a little bit of a genius. His wealth of knowledge is so deep. The well of his knowledge of like occult and supernatural and mythology and religion is so freaking deep. It's amazing. I think with the streaming 3 million around the world, who knows? I know Twin Peaks has a huge fan bases across the globe.
Yeah.
I think the smaller fan base is actually the U.S. fan base.
Which
I feel
is
like
fine.
Japanese fan base is crazy.
Yeah, the Japanese fan base.
European fan base is crazy because they appreciate stuff like Twin Peaks. Here, Twin Peaks, people find it laughable because they don't get it. They think it's just the snooty art kind of thing, and they don't want to. It's a really dumb mentality.
You see, I feel like Carrie's got a point. I feel like it's not going to end with a cliffhanger. I feel like they might end with something that's more not like a concrete ending. I don't want them to believe that it could be like a let's go home and have the ending like this is if we don't want to come back, this is what we're gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be like something that's gonna be left open.
There are things that are gonna be resolved.
Close something up.
There's things that are gonna be resolved. I think they're leaving it open for another like sort of almost like another side Twin Peaks. I think they're closing this. I feel like they're going to come to a close on the story of Dale and Laura and all those people. But I think there's just Twin Peaks. The wealth of like craziness in Twin Peaks is just going to secede or I don't know.
I honestly think that like. I honestly think that Janie's gonna die. Is that weird?
I think Albert is, which is gonna be
Albert
sad.
has to die though.
I think something bad's gonna, because there was that moment a couple episodes ago where Gordon goes. Yeah. Gordon goes. Sometimes I really worry about you, Albert. And I just felt like that scene set up something. And I'm worried because I love Albert.
Well, there was a moment of Albert also staring off into the camera and breaking the fourth wall entirely at one point.
See, I don't know if that was intentional, but again, I don't know.
That totally happened.
What about media, DVD, Blu-ray? I really hope they make a.
Oh my God!
I really hope they make a seamless Blu-ray where just like the episodes
it's 18
go on.
hours straight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'd watch it.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know if the technology works. But yeah, it'll work as a stream. It'll work as a stream, and I hope they do like viewings at theaters.
I think they'll totally do. I think that'll definitely happen. But I think they'll totally do like a Blu-ray where it just goes.
I mean, that's how it's sort of meant to be watched.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like I feel like they're definitely
is releasing the final dossier. But the dossier, I think it's about Twin Peaks, but I think it's again, I like this season. I think it's heavily about Cooper, because it kind of I think the Blue Rose case is going to come to a close. I think that's what the final dossier is. I think it's the end of the Blue Rose case.
Or is it the end of all Blue Rose cases? Because that's the idea. Is that like the
I think they figure out what Blue Rose means, and I think that's what the dossier is going to be about, because it's supposed to be a look into sort of the weirdness of Twin Peaks, because we have that secret history, which is about the town itself, but this is going to be, because now Tammy is on the Blue Rose team. I don't know where in the timeline she writes the secret history. Briggs writes it, and then Tammy sort of notes it.
Yeah.
But
annotates it.
I'm wondering where that is, and if Tammy is writing the final one, I think this is going to be her in-depth sort of analysis and explanation of all the weirdness in Twin Peaks, because they will have learned so much.
Yeah.
That's what I think is happening. So I don't think the final dossier, just like The Return, I feel like it's a very vague title, and it can mean so many things. The final
happy returns.
There's so many dossiers out there. Like, there's never a final one. It's usually after like a case is closed, it'll be the final one. So something is going to come to an end, and it's going to come to a complete end, I think, in the dossier. At least the Blue Rose, thing. I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay, I can accept that. I'm not happy with it, because I really want more and more of like these characters, but things have to end, so it makes sense.
I mean, I could see like the weirdness maybe ending, and them going back to sort of like the original Twin Peaks, where it's more like a soap opera, because that's what it was. And I think, but I don't know if that really works with today, because that worked with the time that it originally came out, but today I don't know if it'll work as well.
Because it isn't as...
I don't think Audrey is back for any more episodes. She served her purpose, and that is why Fenn was pissed at Lynch. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know. That might have been it too. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
All the promotional materials, by the way, for the show were all like her holding Coop and like all of that stuff. The Rolling Stone covers were all like it was all the complete opposite of what we
everybody
actually
was together.
Show. Yeah. Which is kind of like a slap in the face with most stuff. I know. Reverberations are great.
Yeah, this one reverberates a lot.
But yeah, I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a slap in the face with everything.
Also because he made her sort of like a hysterical character.
Yeah.
Which she was a teenager and had like a hysterical in a teenager kind of way in the original series.
Now she's like just kind of like a loon.
Something's wrong with her, and I think it has something to do with
Mr. C.
Mr. C, Evil Cooper. Or, the explosion. She probably got brain damage.
Oh, that's feasible.
The bank explosion.
Yeah, we always forget about that.
So, I don't know. But...
Take one of those Quest bars.
Huh?
Take one of those Quest bars.
I don't know. Not right now.
Damn it. I just got hungry. I don't know why.
But the other interesting thing was the whole scene in the hotel room with Cole and Tammy.
Yes.
And Albert. And they remember the Philip Jefferies scene from Fire Walk With Me.
Which you pointed out while we were watching it, like, how did they forget this? And I'm like, yeah, that made sense. Like, how did they forget this? But, like, there's a part of me that just thinks, I think you would forget about, like, something like that. I mean, like, if you really have to, like, deal with that. Especially with all the other stuff they have to deal with.
I don't think Cooper ever mentions Jefferies in the show.
No, he hasn't.
At all.
I was hoping that he'd remember, that Gordon would remember Coop's dream. Like, he didn't talk about Coop's dream. Because Coop's dream is literally Coop saying that Bob's going to kill Laura. Like, that was a whole thing, and he told him exactly where it was going to happen, and he just ignored it entirely. Didn't mention Judy through the whole replay of the thing. Yeah, that's a good point as well.
I think they're intentionally leaving that out. I don't know if Gordon or Albert remember that. I think they just showed what they remembered.
Yeah.
He might just remember him coming in and not remember what he actually said. He remembered saying, "Who do you think that is there?" And it kind of dawned on them
that there's something wrong.
Especially after they got the information from Truman about two Coopers.
Yep.
So
and then we keep getting all these two Coopers things for everybody now. Everyone's getting them.
doppelgangers galore.
Yes, and Andy fucking knows, which is the greatest thing, is that Andy actually knows that there's two Coopers.
And you see how Andy sort of just straightens out and like becomes his.
No, I can deal with them.
He's in charge, and he takes the. Also, how did the woman that fell off of the sort of the matchbox thing? I call it the matchbox thing from episode 3.
Yeah.
That pulls the lever and falls into space. How did she get there?
And how did she lose her clothes?
Yeah.
She was wearing clothes.
Yeah, she was wearing like that.
She was not naked.
I mean, I'm assuming she must have lost it in space because she was wearing like a night robe. But
yeah, but like Dougie didn't lose his clothes.
I mean, but he went through.
Wait, did Dale lose his clothes?
No, he went in through this with the suit. He just lost his shoes.
Yeah, that's right. Your shoes. But yeah, how did that happen?
What? How did he lose?
How did she lose her shoes?
I don't know. I don't know how she got there. Did she get there through the void?
She's still not speaking anything. Just the
that
garbles
sort of like raspiness
that they were speaking of before. I thought that you might use some of the Jeffrey scenes in the mystery missing pieces. They didn't use any of
not yet.
The Jeffrey stuff yet. Do we think there's going to be a Bowie return?
I don't know if we're gonna see that.
Yeah, we're hoping.
I think Bowie's gonna come back. I mean, this is already a sign, and they had a thing in the credits saying "in memory of David Bowie."
Yep.
So there's gonna be some more stuff.
And
I don't know if there's gonna be any new stuff. If anything, it might be recordings.
I mean, Mr. C's looking for Jeffries. All other stuff is going on. Women always lose their clothes. This is what happens in Lynch's.
Yes. And the whole dream with Monica Bellucci.
Good point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Sometimes Lynch is just like, this is a good idea.
Even as a huge hardcore Lynch fan, I think he is a little pervy sometimes.
Completely a pervert.
I mean, but he's like,
this is what happens when two consenting adults kiss in the middle of a place.
He's also sort of making it very apparent with his Gordon Cole and the French girl and the dream about Monica Bellucci coming to talk to him in a cafe in Paris.
Actual Monica
Bellucci
actually shows
Monica
up.
Lewinsky, yeah.
Lewinsky, wow.
And she tells him, "We are the dreamer that
Yeah, we are the dreamer
that lives in the dreams."
But
who is the dreamer?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, we always hear that quote. That quote is, we've heard it before in Twin Peaks. We are the dreamer that dreams of dreams and then lives in the dream. But then who is the dreamer? Who is ultimately the dreamer? Who's making all this? God?
Which would be Gordon Cole.
You think it's all in the mind of Gordon Cole?
No, Gordon Cole's God because he's David Lynch. That's literally the entire thing. That's the simplest answer is like, that's what it is.
So the fireman is the dreamer.
I mean, that's feasible, but...
I mean, Laura did come out of his head.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he was laying down when that happened.
I think the whole thing is that there's more than one dreamer. Yeah, Isabella Rossellini.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
But that movie was...
that was kind of the point of that movie.
Technically... But to a point, Kyle MacLachlan also lost his clothes in that.
Kyle MacLachlan lost his
clothes. And somebody lost an ear.
Kyle MacLachlan has actually lost more clothes than any other character in Twin Peaks history. I'm just going to point it out.
This is true.
He has taken off his clothes more than anyone else. And no one actually mentioned it.
Laura is the one.
We're good with that. But now here's the thing. Is she Neo?
Is she going to be the one to take us out of the Matrix?
Everyone else is zeros, they're just ones. Oh, hey, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
What just happened there? So he's got a lot of shit for
Lynch gets a lot
for the Rossellini thing. Yeah, of course.
But I mean, I guess if he takes a lot of inspiration from dreams. So if somebody's naked, and it makes for a good picture. It looks naked women are prevalent in like mythology and sort of Renaissance paintings and stuff like that.
It's because most of the Renaissance painters were men, and actually, most of the Renaissance painters were gay men, but liked painting naked.
But
women.
like the scene with the naked woman in tonight's episode, I don't know. It looked like an old picture to me. Like if you saw that,
all of it was framed by
that frame, then just imagine it done with like oils or something. It would be a beautiful photo of just like this woman, and it's a lot like Laura Palmer. She's dead, wrapped in plastic.
That was a weird moment. We were just like, I literally said, "Is that going to be Laura Palmer?" And I responded with, "No." Is that the girl that leaves with Coop that never just shows back up?
She's here now.
And
they're looking for her. They want to kill her. Who's they?
Yeah.
Is that Cooper? Is that the woodsman?
No, it's definitely the woodsman. It's definitely the woodsman.
Woodsman.
Because he saw the woodsman, so he knows the woodsman exist.
Mm-hmm.
And since Andy knows the woodsman exist, it's definitely the woodsman. By the way, the woodsman, that's such a weird name for them.
I mean, that's the name we're giving them, and that's the name. I believe that was the name in the credits for them.
Why do you have it?
For my candle.
Oh yeah.
For my.
For those confused, he hasn't smoked, so I was like, why do you have this?
My candle, I have a balsam fir pine candle. Always talks about his brother seeing naked women walk through the neighborhood when they were children. That is.
That was the only thing. I remember seeing that. It was the weirdest thing for him too. Like,
I just watched The Art Life, so I remember that story was in that.
He was just very, very confused. Yeah, I also just watched The Art Life. That was very good.
I really love that.
I really want to discuss the idea of that maybe he was like there was something really weird about him and his neighbor that he didn't want to talk about.
I mean, yeah.
That was sad.
There's a lot Lynch doesn't say, and he gives you enough where you could start maybe come to your own conclusion, depending on where your head is. But he derives a lot from dreams and a lot from real life. The Art Life was awesome. I was debating getting the Blu-ray. I saw it's free on Amazon Prime for those watching that have Amazon Prime.
Watch it. It's great.
Go watch it. It's free right now. I don't know how long it's going to be free, but if you have Amazon Prime, you could watch it right now, or after you're done watching.
Yeah, you just
however long this is.
Just go right into it. Yeah, but I feel like the end result of what we're going to have here is that we're going to have like 3 or 4 things tied up, and then something's going to be left horribly missing or horribly fucked up. Like, everything's going to be fine, and then something is not going to make any sense and it's going to go completely
I do think a lot of good stuff is going to start happening. And we just saw that this episode. There's still a lot of evil, but there is so much good. We have pure Andy going up to talk to the fireman, which I called. I'm like, he's going to take Andy. Because Andy is Hawk is pretty good. But Andy is just so pure. He's so pure and non-judgmental, and he always does the right thing. And he's just like the pure, moral, virtuous being.
Is it bad that I think they took Andy because Andy has room in his brain? Like that he's just not using, and they've just dumbed him down for like ever, and like they've been waiting to use him like this?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, like Andy being a conduit, exactly. Like Andy is legitimately just this one person who consistently is missing something in his head, and the reason for that is because of this is happening.
He could just absorb all that stuff like a sponge,
and that's what they needed, and that's what Fireman needed, so we gave it to him.
And that's why, especially this season, Andy's sort of been like, I mean, he's always sort of had attitude, but like, I mean, they've both been sort of like totally airheaded.
Yeah, but Andy's kind of been just Andy. Lucy's been completely off the other side of the Richter, like.
But Andy wouldn't be Andy without Lucy. He's wrong. Like this because of Lucy. He loves Lucy to death. The final episode would be Coop entering Twin Peaks. That's all, folks. No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna have a big showdown.
If that were the case,
in Twin Peaks, everybody is gonna be there. If it did
end with Coop entering Twin Peaks, then we are totally getting another. We're 100% getting another season. That's it. Anthony tested you, by the way.
I do think we are going to have everybody in Twin Peaks. I really do. I think Gordon and Albert, Tammy are gonna go there. Janie E.
I think Gordon, Albert, and they're gonna end up in Las Vegas before anything else.
They're gonna. Well, no, they're calling him in Las Vegas. They're gonna find Dougie and Janie E., who is Diane's sister,
which is a weird reveal, but okay.
And fly them out. Either that, they're gonna just go pick them up, talk on the plane, go to Twin Peaks, to see Harry in an arm wrestle.
I would versus Mr. C in an arm wrestle.
Kindergarten. what is this? Kindergarten.
I'm sure it'd be more like Mr. C versus Dudley Jones in an arm wrestle would be much better.
You know what? It's
better.
gonna be. I think because there's a lot of allusions to boxing. I think they're gonna box it out. And you know how Cooper is like he has freaky reflexes. We saw that he still has.
Oh hey, remember the fact that there's a guy who literally has a glove in his hand which can knock people's heads off?
Imagine this dude with a glove, arm wrestling, or he comes into contact with Mr. C first
and just punches and explodes Mr. C's head.
It's obviously gonna come in like useful later on.
I mean, you can keep being like doubting it and putting all that stuff, but listen, Showtime has given series that don't get any views in the first season so much more opportunity.
The thing with
Californication did fucking horribly, and if Californication did fucking horribly, they'll bring back the other one.
The thing with Twin Peaks, I don't think it. I feel like with them, they have to realize that it's not going to be a quick return on Twin Peaks, but they are making television history. This is like history. This is important TV. So yeah, wait for the Blu-ray numbers. I'm pretty sure they're making a huge percentage on like the back end of the merch, which there's so much merch now, more merch than there ever was. But I think we'll see more. Not sure what. Maybe another book of some sort.
Definitely another book.
I mean, we're getting the final dossier, which is going to be nice. I think they're putting out a Bookhouse Boys thing. I'm not positive. I know
that'd be good.
They put out a notebook, but I think they're putting
I'm currently looking up the budget for Twin Peaks.
I think they're putting out a Bookhouse Boys thing, but I feel like Twin Peaks has to smarten up. I think ultimately, I don't think it's even going to be up to Showtime. I don't think Showtime is going to be the one that calls it. I think David Lynch and Mark Frost are going to have a conversation, if they're not having a conversation already, about what would that look like, what would that be based on whatever is happening at the end of this season. So I think if you guys saw my video on the Hollywood Reporter article, the clickbaity one, about where they spoke to the CEO of Showtime, he said David Lynch has been in Paris talking to Monica Bellucci apparently since the show premiered, since Cannes. So go rewatch it, Carrie. Come back and comment if you find anything interesting on the second watch. This is our initial reactions. We're in a half hour. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, do that. You know where the button is, I'm sure. But this episode was really, I think, so much happened. They went to Jack Rabbit's palace. Bobby was, stunned, and there was I guess some kind of time distortion that happened there when Bobby went up, because they don't seem to remember anything after, them going past Jack Rabbit's palace. It was almost like a weird, dead zone.
Yeah, really, like an odd, just whoop. I know that made no sense to most people, but seriously, when you have the multiple universes kind of colliding on top of one another with the different people moving throughout the screen, and then nothing.
It all lines up. It's all lining up.
Will you be on the live stream of the rewatch of the episode? Are you gonna rewatch episodes in live stream? I don't know what Carrie's asking right now.
I might do a live stream during the week sometime about Twin Peaks. I actually bought the original guide to Twin Peaks from the 90s, so I'm going to be doing a video about that. Everybody must be watching Game of Thrones. I gave up on it in season 5. I know you think I'm crazy. I don't watch it either. I watched one episode and I couldn't do it, to be honest. But you're probably right. Everybody's at Game of Thrones. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, especially it's the end of the episode too.
Yeah,
so I gotta not get spoiled by the time I go home. I actually looked up Game of Thrones to see what their reception was, or let me see Californication.
So, I'm really wondering what's gonna happen in the next couple episodes. The next, how many do we have left? 4. I think this is part 14. Yeah. So we have 4 hours left. So 2 more Sundays, and then the last Sunday is gonna be the 2-hour finale. So In an hour's time, I mean. I'm not sure. I think we'll probably end this very soon. We're already over a half hour. My videos are usually maybe a little bit over 10 minutes, so whoever's watching this after the fact is going to have a field day.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say to wrap it up? So yeah, we have 4 hours left. Two more weekends, and then the last episode is going to be 2 hours, and I'll do probably a live stream after that because I'm not going to know what to do with myself. So we all need to congregate and discuss, which I think it'll probably end at 10 o'clock. So
just to point this out for you, because we're going on Showtime TV shows. Not going into the Tudors, because I didn't even check the Tudors season 1, but I should, because that was like their biggest TV show that they ever did. Californication, which ran for like 7 seasons, and like they were completely up with. It only ended up with like a 70 on Metacritic, and like it got an F on the AV Club, which points out that they were really not doing, and their numbers weren't too great. Like they were lower than I think Twin Peaks numbers at like 100,000 views per episode, 150. Especially after the first 2, and Twin Peaks, their first 2 episodes had 550,000. So already we're looking at like good possibility of Showtime wanting to pick them up again, just because that was like a huge conversation piece of this entire thing.
I don't know if I don't know in what way it'll be picked up. Maybe another movie possibly.
That'd be cool.
They have to tie up Las Vegas first and then go to Twin Peaks, so there's so much left that needs to happen with very little time left. I mean, just judging by the pacing of this episode where so much happened, I think the next episodes are going to be, you better like hold on to your seat because it's going to be a wild ride. I think the pacing is going to pick up. We're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happening. I think the whole Janie E. Finding Dougie thing is going to happen next episode. I think they're going to find out about Cooper next episode. The scene with the FBI agent after Gordon Cole calls the Las Vegas department where he says there's 25 Douglas Jones. And he's like,
how are we going to figure out which one it is?
And he loses his shit.
Screaming at him was amazing.
That's what we do. That's our job.
When's the last time I told you this? That's what we do.
The beginning of the episode was super funny, and anything with, also weird side thing. What was with the window cleaner? He was very erratic.
Yeah, that did not make any sense.
So I think maybe somebody was bugging the room because they only cleaned one window, and then it was very weird. Like, who do you know that cleans a window like that real quick? They usually go up and down.
That's
not just. That was super cartoony and weird.
Tudors Metacritic score of only a 68. They had worse ratings than the first few episodes of that. So, and that was like their cash cow for a while.
See, I don't know.
It's
I feel like it's up to
If it was HBO, maybe we'd have a different story. But it's Showtime, so
no. You know what? I feel like HBO would value it more because Showtime. I don't know. Showtime is a scrapper. It has good shows, but not that many.
Yeah.
Where HBO has like Game of Thrones, which is like unbeatable. Westworld. So I think it's because Showtime isn't at the level of HBO.
That's why it's $10 and not $15.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up because this is 40 minutes. I don't know who the hell is going to watch this. But I will do another stream probably during the week. Maybe I'll just do like a regular edited video, possibly. I don't know. But you could join me in about 2 hours, 12 a.m., for the Rick and Morty stream. Yeah. This is true. HBO cut a lot of shows in their prime.
Oh my God, yeah. They cut a ton.
This is true.
And Showtime just put on everything they could find.
But HBO just looks for, I guess, bangers.
But it's been almost 40 minutes, so...
Yeah. But we're gonna call it quits now. This is longer than any of the videos I've done so far, so thank you guys who have stayed the whole time. 402-1971. I wish I knew your name so I could thank you for joining. Carrie, thank you for joining. Anybody else that I'm forgetting?
They are the only two that talked to us the entire time.
But I think it's because of Game of Thrones, which I didn't realize. Game of Thrones would start immediately. So maybe next week I'll go back to my original format so people that want to watch this after the fact don't have to deal with
going home
minutes.
and trying to
He's going to watch
stuff.
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
See you later, David. Thanks for watching.
I'm gonna keep snapping and making the thin spike.
I shall catch you guys very, very soon.
Yeah.
See you later.